Well,
Wait.
nope. All right.
Mm, Yeah, now.
Hi, welcome. This is Monique Gallagher here. Welcome to our hangout. Learning cybernetic transposition can really be easy and fun. Let me introduce myself and my guest. I've been a student of cybernetic transposition for a long time, and I love to teach it. I've been working with cybernetic transposition for, oh my gosh, 12 years, and it's magically transformed many areas of my life, and the students of the highest potential training have experienced magical changes and achieving objectives. So this talk today is to introduce to you this idea that it can really be fun to learn CT. So my guest is Ran Toker. He's a student. He's enrolled in the highest potential training, our 17-week program. And he had some questions, and he inspired me to do this Google Hangout because he said, people need to know about this training is starting next week, and you only run it sometimes once a year. So let's talk. So, Ran.
Yeah, hi, good evening. How are you?
I am well. How are you? It's really evening there. It's very late for you.
Yeah, it's half of the night, but it was so important that you could spare some time that we can talk. So it's good by me. Thank
Yes.
you. Okay. Um, the reason I wanted so much that we have this short conversation is that the highest potential training is supposed to begin very soon, and we talked about it, and I told you that I feel that there are so many people out there that heard about the cybernetic transposition, what we are going to say CT during this conversation. Many people know about the CT, but I think that there is a challenge for people to learn the city by themselves. So it's so important that people would know that it's not a must that they will learn only from the book or from um, uh, this training system, but they can get support. So I ask you, Monique, please, let's talk a little bit about the HPT, and I want you to tell other people the same way you told me and you explained me. What does it mean to learn city in the right way? Okay? What does it mean to learn cybernetic transposition in the right way? What is the right way to learn it?
That's really the question of the hour, isn't it? Because many people I've met over these nearly a decade now, I've been teaching CT, and they say, I know something is very significant here, and I know it could work, but for some reason, it's not working for me. And I just want to let everybody know it's not you. If it's not been working for you and you've tried, maybe you've read the book, or maybe you have bought one of the programs and it still seems difficult. The reason why is that when you're learning it on your own, your blockers inside of you prevent the learning. It won't allow you to absorb how to do it in the most easy, direct way. They basically have influence. Whatever comes into you, they're going to put up stop signs, especially when these blockers recognize that cybernetic transposition can truly get you free of the mindsets, the beliefs, and the conditioning. So they wake up, so to speak, and they say, we're going to make this really hard. We're going to even make you fall asleep while you do these processes, and then you're going to think they don't work, and we will have won the game. So learning CT can be amazing, but most people need help. I needed help to make it accessible. I was a poster child student and it was so hard for me to learn, so I took trainings and I've been learning from other people what ways work for them, how best to learn it. And some people or multimedia. You know, they need the visual. They can't just learn from a book. So that's one of the changes we did is we put in webinars when we teach, because then you get images and you get pieces to absorb when you're learning the steps, how to do it. And then some people really need the gentleness of a soft voice that you're doing okay, and they need that confirmation. Because one of the ways that blockers work to take us out of something that's important to us is they inject doubt. And this doubt grows like a moldy thing, and it erodes our hope. So having someone who's already made the journey and they're a bit further on than you are can really infuse you with that hope and diminish the doubt. And especially when someone can say, yeah, you're doing it right, or no, you need to change just this little bit and then it'll work better for you. So as I said, I've talked with many students and readers of the book, the How to Get Lots of Money for Anything Fast ebook, and it turns out you're really dedicated. You're trying to implement what's taught in the book, but for various reasons, it hasn't worked out as you've wished. And I'm, really here to say with Ron, it can be different. And CT is a highly effective tool, an amazing way to change your life in deep, profound ways, but you got to learn it the right way and in the right method for you. We don't all learn in the same way. So I try to bring in all these different dimensions, and I think, Ran, that part of my gift to students of learning CT is that I homeschooled my son, and he was very strong-willed, very active, and so I found ways to make learning fun, like jumping on a trampoline, learning his times tables, or making, the characters of the alphabet into these wonderful shapes, like king. K is like a king kicking in front. So learning can be fun with the right approach, but you really have to be good as a teacher to be able to teach something in a fun, light way.
Okay. Wow, I didn't know about this. Amazing. So you're thinking outside of the box when you're teaching.
Yes, and sometimes I'll make up a quick, little process that may be outside the standard cybernetic transposition toolbox, but it's easy and people get quick wins, and that's what I like, because if we're feeling successful at anything in the up front, then it makes us want to continue. If it's all hard and yeah, we don't want to do it anymore.
Okay, and what about the power of the team? Can you say a few words about that? Because one of the reasons I wanted so much this training is to be part of a team of few more people that are dedicated to the same goal and have the same issues. So I kind of think that it can support also. Not only that it's a good teacher, but also good people that learn together the same stuff. So can you tell a little bit about what is the dynamic of, of the program regarding this?
Yeah. There's a growing community of students of CT, and high caliber people are drawn to this, intelligent, and they take responsibility for their life and they want to make the changes, and they're so compassionate and supportive of everyone else in the group. And one of the ways that it supports people in learning is there's a call partner program where you're matched up with a call buddy, almost like a workout buddy that encourages you to get up early in the morning and go run or go to the gym. Your call partner you meet with 3 to 5 times a week for 15, 20 minutes and say, okay, how are you getting on? And then there's specific questions that you ask your call partner and your call partner asks you to see if you're on track. You don't coach one another. It just helps you frame what you're learning and maybe questions you may have, and helps you identify maybe a blocker that's in the way. So you don't feel so alone. And the beautiful thing, Ran, is that some people who have been call partners in the highest potential training have become lifelong friends, even across the world, because the bond can be so powerful when you go through a transformational experience like that. It's wonderful.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Cool.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, totally cool. Okay. Um, one important thing I wanted to ask you about. Um, I know that it's a 17-week program, and I know it's step by step, but from my own experience, when I learn it by myself, um every time I had the progress, the attack of the blockers was harder. So it's kind of one of the most important things that I'm looking in the program. It's the ability to manage these blockers, either treat them or bypass them. Can you say a few words about that? What is expecting to someone that is going to be in the program regarding the blocker issue? Because I think it's one of the most how you say it, one of the hardest thing for people who learn the CT. It's how to deal with these blockers.
Ah, yeah, it is. And learning how to do the processes in the right way that works for someone is half of the battle. Because if you don't learn how to do the blocker clearing processes correctly, the blockers won't get cleared, and then people get frustrated and they give up. So there's a webinar that I taught a few weeks ago that highlights the blocker clearing processes and what kind of blockers they're good for and how it feels once you've cleared a blocker. And
Hmm.
I think that would be great to make that available to people to watch. What do you think, Ron?
Uh, yeah, I know the webinar. I
Yeah.
know this one. Yeah, I think that maybe it can be a good idea to let people who listen to our conversation.
Hmm.
Maybe it's a good idea that they will watch this webinar because after they watch this hangout, because it can give a good info about the blockers, and also I think that you explained there what people feel when the blocker is concord. What is the relief, and in what ways we can progress after we can clear the blockers. So yeah, it's a good idea that they will watch the. I think that we can arrange the video below this one, or the link to the video, right? The link to the.
Yeah, we'll make it possible. So make sure that if you do want to watch it,
What
yeah,
would
we'll
be?
make it possible for everybody to watch it. And then
Yeah.
it also describes what the training comprises over the 17 weeks. So that would be informative for people to watch that. And by the way, in the webinar, if you do watch it, it says that the training starts the end of May. We delayed it for 2 weeks, so it starts June 11th, but really officially starts June 18th. So just to let you know that, don't think that you have missed out.
Okay, yeah, that is an important point. Um, okay, another thing that I wanted to ask you is I know that I know that there are a lot of trainings out there. Okay, many programs, and we have talked about it before. But I want your point of view about this. I mean, most of the people that I know that trying to do self-development, help for themselves, going to trainings and programs. Some of them paid thousands of dollars, and sometimes they were trying every program out there, and they saw the secret. And what is, if you can say in a few sentences, what is so special about the city? Why should they see the city in a different perspective than any other programs out there?
Well, I believe we are gifted with an amazing brain that's beyond belief in what it can perform, but we're not taught how to use it. In school, we're stuffed with facts and knowledge, but it's disconnected from anything that's real. How many times kids go through and say, I'm learning this, I'm never going to use it. Well, with CT, you learn how to use that amazing machine, your brain. And one of the uniqueness is that it allows you to harmonize all four parts of your brain. So when it's harmonized and it's congruent and all parts of your brain are focused on the single most important task for you to achieve, you hand over to your unconscious to make it happen. So like make it so. And you can be washing dishes, driving the car, you could be cooking or working, whatever. And your unconscious will be working all the time like this super powerful multi-billion-dollar computer. How to make it happen for Rand, how to make it happen. Oh, this and that. And then you'll get these subtle, intuitive messages. And you'll say, oh, I need to get on the phone and speak to Mary. And you think, why? I haven't spoken to Mary for years. And you get on the phone, and then Mary says, hey, you need to speak to this person. They're just starting a business, Ran, and I know you're the perfect one to help with marketing. And so your unconscious is not only associated with you, Ran, it's associated with all of human unconscious, which some people call the collective unconscious. So that's how things happen. It's not just you on your own, where the synchronistic better luck starts happening because you are communicating with that part of you, your unconscious, which is connected with everything else. And so things just start magically unfolding. You think, wow, that was easy. How did that happen? Well, it happened because you're cleared the resistance between you and what you want, and you're communicating in a very clear way and harmonizing all those parts of your brain. Where other systems are wonderful in teaching you an aspect like goal setting or like resolving invisible blockers or communicating affirmations or visualizing, like The Secret you mentioned. They're all wonderful programs, but they don't have it all in one place. So you have to go to these different places, and then you have to integrate them all on your own, which is a big job in itself. With CT, it's all integrated. You learn one system, you implement the one system, and you achieve an objective one after the other, and clear blockers all along the way. So you don't have to do the hard work of integrating it. It's a system that works, and the most recent statistics are in about 92% of the people who participate in the 17-week highest potential program achieve what they consider a nearly impossible objective. First try. So it's all about targeting your objective and clearing these invisible resistances, these blockers that come up along the way. And when you clear those, you're happier, more joyful, peaceful, more loving, and life works when you clear blockers. And you're achieving your target along the way.
Amazing. Okay, I think that I want to share something very shortly, but I think it's important also that people would know that we're not speaking of theory. Okay, it's not a theory. I had my option to speak with you a few weeks ago. We had this let's say a consultant call, or we had this call that I had the chance to speak with you, and during this conversation, and it was a short time conversation, something like 20 minutes or so, or half an hour, something like that. During this conversation, and it was the first time we ever spoke. I was in your list, but we didn't spoke before. Amazing things happen. Your intuition would help me to recognize a few major blockers that I had. And during the conversation, you actually could provide me a practical guide how to start to focus and uh, what is going to be better with me and my direction, and to pay attention to a few blockers that came out during the conversation. And you told me one sentence. The last time we talked, you told me one sentence that is going with me since then. You told me that when you are alone, the blockers have advantage because you don't know how to deal with them. But when you are with me, they don't have a chance. They don't have a
That's true, Ron. I remember that. Yeah.
chance. And this sentence worked with me, and this is part of the reason I wanted to enroll the highest potential training because of this sentence. It's so important that people that tried ever tried the city would know that they are not alone. It's Monique, and it's the team, and it's a great hope because I tried a few times to implement the city in the different times of my life. And I tried the book, and I tried also the MLP, the Dream Achiever multimedia program. And the programs are great, but something was missing for me. And I think that I found this missing piece in the form of this training and the form of this support system. So it's so important. This is why I wanted us to speak because I'm sure I'm not the only one who tried the city from different angles in different times, and usually the blockers won till today.
Yes, that was great. And Ron, the thought about blockers winning makes me mad. I don't want blockers to win. I want people to win. I want people to get what they want. And life can be so much easier and more filled with joy and love and hope. And the blockers just, they're not going to have their way with people when I'm working with them. Because I can hear a blocker speaking and they're just, and I'm gentle, I'm not harsh with them. It's just that we get them converted over to be an enhancement to your life and not sabotaging. And we don't ever push a blocker out of the way. We gently guide it to, be more productive, more helpful, because blockers really don't want to hurt us. They just don't know any better, that's all.
So you turn the lemon to lemonade.
Yeah, we turn the lemon to lemonade. Yeah, yep. We turn an adversarial blocker into an ally. So the ally is working on your behalf, empowering you.
Wow. Okay. I'm waiting for the training to begin.
Yes, yes. And I know, Ram, we wanted to keep this brief for people because
Yes.
is there anything else that we should add before we wrap up?
The only thing I can think of is that life are short, and if we're serious about our intention to get more out of life, we need to check out things in a serious way. So, if there is option for someone that is listening to watch the training that you mentioned before, and maybe even to speak with you, it
Hmm.
can be so. Let him do it. Just do it because if it's not for him, he can check it out and say it's not for me. But if it is for him, you do these trainings only once a year or so. So the next time it will be available, it might be in a long time. So better check it now just to see if it fits for him or her.
Absolutely. I like that. I like that idea. So I'll make myself available for brief conversations, 10 or 15 minutes. You can meet me and then you get a sense of me and any questions you may have. And uh, yeah, I'm really happy to do that. That would be great.
Great. Okay. Thank you that you spared this time, Monique. I think it's an important goal. So
And
thank you.
thank you, Ran, for knowing how to do these Google Hangouts. It is fun. So thank you for making it possible. I appreciate you.
Great. Okay, I will push the red button and finish the broadcast. And
Okay,
thank you. Bye
super.
bye.